Hey friends, so today is not glamorous. There is cat puke on the floor, I am on my fourth load of laundry, the dishes somehow multiplied overnight, and my brain, well, she is tired, foggy, and somewhere else entirely. But here we are cleaning the cat throw up from last night. Welcome back to the channel. My name is V. I live in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina with my dog, my cat, and my boyfriend, and I am on a journey to become a full-time mom, wife, and homemaker one day. We are today talking about when homemaking isn't always beautiful, but real. And today I want to talk to you about keeping your home going even when your brain doesn't want to, especially if you're neurodivergent like me, ADHD, autistic, or just chronically exhausted. You are not alone, I promise. Some days, homemaking feels like a gentle rhythm, and other days it's a battle against the laundry mountain, the stinky litter box, and whatever unholy mess the cat decided to create at 3 a.m. If you're neurodivergent like I am, it's not just a matter of getting up and doing it. Executive dysfunction is so real. You want to clean the kitchen, you want to sweep the floors, but it feels like climbing Mount Everest in Crocs, and there's that great mental wall of nope. If you're juggling work, caregiving, and chronic health stuff too, you might feel like a failure before you even start. But listen, you are not failing. You are living, just like the rest of us. I used to think homemaking had to look like something out of a magazine, or else I was doing it wrong. But perfection isn't the goal here. Sustainability is, and sanity is. So let's normalize homemaking that's neurodivergent friendly. That means messes happen. You can rest in between. You can cry and then wipe the counters. You can do 5-minute bursts of work and still be winning. Here are some things that actually help me get through messy days like today without completely spiraling. First, I have a one thing rule. So don't think about the whole house, just do one thing. Today, I started with cleaning the cat puke. That was my very first win. And actually, once I started doing that, I became motivated to continue to do other chores around the house as well. You can also set timers. So 5 minutes feels small enough that my brain won't fight me. Sometimes I just do 5 minutes. So set your timer for 5 minutes, do something productive, and when that stops, either go take a break, or if you're in that hyper-focus mode that those 5 minutes tend to bring on, you can keep going. Also, you can use music, podcasts, or body doubling videos like this one. I love to put on a good homemaking video in the background of other people cleaning. It kind of helps trick my brain into getting into that momentum. And of course, make it satisfying, Use a scent you love. I'm running my oil diffuser right now with orange because that is said to bring on happiness, like citrusy scents. You can wear cute clothes. You can light a candle. You can play your favorite music, anything like that, to turn the mundane into something a little bit nicer. When I let go of the idea that I have to do it all perfectly all the time, I start finding small joys in the process, like how good it feels to walk barefoot on a clean floor, or how your home starts to feel like a hug again, not a list of failures. Even in the middle of a messy day, even when your brain is scattered or you're just trying to survive, you're still caring, you're still showing up, and that is what truly matters. So today feels hard, even if you're cleaning puke from your pets or children, you're overwhelmed by laundry and wondering why adulting is so much. You are not alone. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are a human being with a brain that just works a little differently, and you're trying your best. And that is beautiful. And I don't know if this is helpful, but I'm going to share a little bit about how I got my diagnosis and everything. So I was never diagnosed as a kid because I was very good at school, and typically ADHD in children is only noticed when there's problems at school. I really liked school. I would hyper-focus on my studies a lot, so there really didn't seem to be an issue. I had other signs though, like the obvious hyperactivity, forgetfulness, impulsivity, that sort of thing, but never anything overt enough to where my parents thought, oh, maybe there's something up here. But when I got to college, I had a lot of things that I was going through, so I decided to see a psychiatrist about depression and anxiety and maybe getting medication for that. So I did get diagnosed with anxiety, but when I came in to see my psychiatrist the second time, there was a nurse practitioner there actually as a substitute. They asked if that was okay. I said sure. And within a couple of minutes of talking to me, the nurse practitioner suddenly blurts out, "Have you ever gotten tested for ADHD?" And I was like, no, why would I get tested for ADHD? That seems strange. And he was like, you may want to get tested. And so I said, okay. I didn't think I had it or anything like that, but I did the testing and wow, so many things were answered. I mean, for instance, they had us do a set of math problems and the person running the test said that they didn't really care about whether or not I got the problems correct. They cared about the fact that I was doing the problems out of order. I was jumping all around the page, flipping through the book. I did not do them one after the other, as most normal people do it. And I was like, I never thought of that. But that's such a minor thing that, might be a sign. So when I was done with the test, they told me that I did, in fact, have ADHD, not to a severe level or anything. And I was a little bit surprised, but at that point, I had started looking up a lot of symptoms, and I felt so seen, y'all. Like, I was looking through a list of things that, are common behaviors with people of ADHD, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's why I do that, and it was crazy. So I'm not mad at all about my diagnosis. I actually see it as sort of a superpower because I can go into these hyper-focus modes. And also, generally speaking, I think it makes me a pretty fun person to be around. I don't do quite the number of crazy things I used to do when I was a little bit younger, but I always have fun stories. I love to make people laugh, and my friend once described my life as a GTA side quest. Like I said, that isn't really the case nowadays, but I certainly don't mind being a source of entertainment for people and myself. It makes me me, it makes me quirky, it makes me fun, and if you're recently diagnosed or think you may need to be diagnosed, don't be scared. I am on the right medication now. It took a while for me to find that concoction that worked for me. I started on Adderall, Vyvanse, those sort of things, and I didn't really like how up and down they were. I would feel great for 6 hours and then absolutely crash and become a depressed mess. So I needed something a little bit more extended release, and eventually, once I got put on Wellbutrin, I really liked that. So that is what I'm on now. But anyways, back to the point. Homemaking while neurodivergent is hard, but absolutely not impossible. You are not behind and you are not broken. You're just a human being doing their best in a world that asks too much and gives too little, in my opinion. And even on the days when you're scraping dried cat puke off the floor and doing a bunch of laundry that you put off, you are still building a home bit by bit and breath by breath. Progress isn't always pretty. Sometimes it looks like wiping one counter and leaving the rest. Sometimes it looks like crying while folding socks, but it still counts. It always counts. Your worth is not measured by how clean your house is, but every time you choose to care for your space, even when you're tired, you're showing up with love, and that is so, so powerful. So let's recap a bit, because if you're like me, you're pretty forgetful and can use a little summary. So first, have a one-thing rule, do one thing at a time. Don't worry about doing the entire house at once. 2, set some timers so that you can either start working or work in small, sporadic pieces and take breaks as needed. 3, use music, podcasts, or body doubling videos to trick your brain into being more motivated. 4, do not worry about things being perfect. The goal isn't to have things be absolutely immaculate. The goal is to have things be done. Good enough is good enough. And 5, make it satisfying. Use a scent you love, wear cozy clothes, light a candle to turn the mundane into something a little bit nicer. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.